I am 79 years old. My doctor says time is limited now. That is why I am finally saying something I kept inside for 54 years. I am not telling this story for sympathy. 30s, 40s, or even 50s, my silence might save you decades of regret. When I was 22, I got married. Everyone said the same things. She is a good woman, good family, stable future. I believed that love was something that would come later, after responsibility. I never asked myself the most important question, am I happy? Back then, I thought happiness was childish. I thought adults learned to adjust. The first few years of marriage were not bad. We built a routine, work during the day, dinner at night, weekends with family. Children came along. From the outside, it looked like a successful life. People would say, "You are lucky," and I would smile. But inside, there was a quiet emptiness I did not know how to explain. Every time I felt overwhelmed or lonely, I chose silence. My wife would ask, "What's wrong?" And I would say, "Nothing." I said that word for decades, nothing. I did not realize that nothing was slowly becoming everything that was wrong with my life. I believed silence kept the peace. I believed speaking honestly would cause pain. What I did not understand was that unspoken truth does not disappear. It settles, it hardens, it slowly turns into distance. By the time I was 40, I had what society calls success, a stable career, a house, respect, financial security. But success is loud during the day and very quiet at night. Late at night, I would sit alone and ask myself, is this all there is? And I never had an answer. There were moments I almost spoke, moments where my heart felt too heavy to carry, but I told myself it was too late. I told myself real men endure, real husbands sacrifice. So I stayed silent and called it maturity. At work, there was a woman I need to mention. This is not a story of betrayal. Nothing inappropriate ever happened. But with her, I could talk. She listened without trying to fix me. One day, she said something that stayed with me for the rest of my life. She said, "You always sound like a man who stopped choosing himself a long time ago." That sentence frightened me because it was true. Still, I went home and said nothing. Silence had become my identity. Years passed faster than I expected. One day I was 50. Then suddenly I was 55. That was the year my wife became seriously ill. Hospital rooms have a way of stripping life down to its truth. No distractions, no routines, just honesty and fear. One night she held my hand and said, "I lived with you for decades, but I never fully knew you. You never let me inside your heart." She was not angry. She sounded tired. That hurt more than anger ever could. I wanted to speak then. I wanted to confess my fears, my loneliness, my regrets. I wanted to tell her that my silence was not indifference, but fear. Fear of being misunderstood, fear of conflict, fear of losing control. But habits built a lifetime do not break easily. I stayed quiet again. 3 months later, she died. After the funeral, the house felt unbearable. Silence echoed in every room. I realized something painful. I had spent my life avoiding difficult conversations, and now there was no one left to talk to. People think regret comes from bad decisions. That is not true. Regret comes from the words you never said, the love you never expressed, the truth you kept hidden to protect an image. As I grew older, I understood something too late.
Silence does not protect relationships. It slowly starves them. Love needs honesty to breathe. Now I am 79. I live alone with memories that replay louder than any argument ever could. I do not regret my responsibilities. I regret my emotional absence. I regret confusing endurance with strength. If you are listening to this, please understand something I learned too late. Speaking your truth does not make you weak, it makes you real. Telling someone how you feel is not selfish, it is a gift. If you love someone, say it clearly. If you are unhappy, do not hide behind silence. Time moves faster than you think, and one day all you'll have left are conversations you never had. I waited too long. You do not have to. Before it's too late.